Hey guys, Colin Evans from Bushcraftourway here, and this is my entry for the Bushcraft group's first challenge. Now what we had to do was make a Yukon fire basically, which is where you dig a hole and you light your fire in it. And they're supposed to burn better or whatever. And so I'm down on the beach today, in the dunes, lovely day, nice and sunny. And I dug a hole out, laid down some sticks so I can get a fire going. And I've lined that with rocks, and then above that I've just made a quickie type shelter out of a big old burnt piece of plank or something, and all these twigs and stuff. Alright, so part of the challenge was to light the fire. So I'm just going to do that now. There we go. Just let that hexy cube light up a bit, and then we can. Okay. Now, oh bloody hell. Now, from all I can gather, these shelters used to be used by people that made tar and charcoal in Sweden and places like that. And the idea of them was that they could be made and they could last through the whole season. Now, as I've just demonstrated there, that catches fire quite easily, really. Now, one thing I would like to say is that the hole and the shelter and all the firewood was done with one tool. And that tool was an axe, obviously. I know it's not a lot of people carry axes anymore, and I think a lot of people sort of like, I guess they underestimate their tools, really. Like an axe, a strong axe. I just use a 3/4 Scandinavian forest axe, which like, it's not a big brand or anything. It wasn't particularly expensive. I rehandled it myself, but it used to be like a small forest axe. But anyway, I did all of that. I dug out the hole. I collected all the firewood and I built the shelter in not much time at all, really. Just with that one tool. And I think that's one of the people's problems today, is that they underestimate their tools, and they don't know exactly what they can do. And with a lot of tools, especially an axe, you can do a hell of a lot with them. Anyway, that's the side of this fire. Really easy to get going. It's making a lot of heat, and the wind is kind of only helping it really in that particular area. Downside is it takes a long time to build, and especially if you're doing it like me, like in the dunes, like all this dry grass is catching fire, and I'm afraid it's all going to catch on from there. And also I'm quite afraid of the pit collapsing and having been made out of sand. anyway, like I said, did the whole thing with that axe, including digging the hole and whatever. Anyway, been Colin, Bushcraft our way. Hoping you've enjoyed this video, and see you next time.